What's up, Bulldogs? All right, today we're going to be talking about Girls Night Out. I'm going to answer a question about this from a member in the Bulldog Mindset membership who asked me this in the community. And the other thing that we're going to do today is this video is going to go out on both channels, the old channel and the new channel. I just want to see what happens in terms of views if that happens. I mean, because the new channel is not getting very many views, so let's see what happens here. It's hard to fight the algorithm, but all right, let's get into the question here. So the question is from Mike, and he says here, what's everyone's thoughts on their girlfriend going away on a girls trip? Some of the places my girlfriend, her cousins, and their friends are considering are Mexico, Bahamas, Aruba, etc. Possibly upcoming video idea if you don't have one already, John. So yes, I would love to do a video on this. So hell to the fucking no. let me tell you, hell to the fucking no. Absolutely not. All right, this is not cool. All right, let me tell you why. All right, now I don't think that necessarily Mike's girlfriend is planning on cheating on him. I don't think that's necessarily the plan. All right, she might go on a girls trip, not do anything questionable. I mean, she's probably gonna do something questionable, but the thing is to understand about this, and it's I don't think like she has malintent. I think most people are just ill-informed in society today. They just don't understand relationships. They don't understand the appearance of things, and they don't understand why these things are wrong, right? Because constantly, I've got my podcast with my wife, the Better Than Perfect podcast, relationship podcast that we're doing every Friday, and we talk about some of these topics, right? We did a whole episode on Girls Night Out, Guys Night Out. We did an episode on essentially the rules for the relationship. And I've talked about this before, but one of the big things is that when you are single, you act like a single person. But when you are a couple, or you're not single, you start acting like a person who's not single. And again, you don't have to be in a committed relationship, but when you are in one, you should act like a person who is in a committed relationship, right? And so the thing is that most people don't understand that, and they don't understand why. They don't understand the risk. They don't understand the respect issue of that. So we're going to kind of break that down, and hopefully you'll have a little bit more insight into this. And one of the things that guys always tell me about when I talk about this subject is I don't want to appear insecure or controlling, or whatever it is that women use in order to remove your boundaries as a man, all right? And the thing is, you cannot be insecure about being insecure, okay? That's the worst thing to be insecure about, all right? You as a man have to decide what you want in your life, and it is okay for you to set boundaries, right? It's really weird. There is this double standard where women can set boundaries. That's fine. A man sets a boundary. He's weak. He's insecure. He's controlling. He doesn't trust me. This is... You cannot be bullied by this kind of talk, all right? As a man, you just got to ignore that. Who cares? Who cares? I don't care. You wanted to say I'm insecure, controlling? I don't care. It doesn't matter, all right? And here's why. Here's why this stuff is important, okay? So first of all, you have to think about the idea that, and again, this is a common argument that people make. They say, well, I trust my spouse, I trust my boyfriend, I trust my girlfriend. I want to operate in a relationship built on trust. These are all good things. However, most people think that they trust the person they're with, otherwise they wouldn't really be with that person. No, there's exceptions to that. Are most people actually trustworthy? No. Okay, so everyone who's ever been cheated on has trusted the person they are cheating on and thought it wasn't going to happen. Just about everyone, right? So otherwise, why would you be with them, right? So for the most part, people believe two things. They believe, one, that it won't happen to them, and two, they believe that they won't do it. Plenty of people who believe it won't happen to them, it's happened to them. Plenty of people who believe they wouldn't do it and had no intention of doing it, did it. All right? So all this is to say that you have to have safeguards in place, because you don't know for sure that you're not going to screw up. I mean, you can have a pretty good idea, all right? And again, it depends on where you are and who you are and the relationship and whatnot. But if you're out hanging with some friends in Aruba and you're having a bunch of drinks and one thing leads to another, you could be in some dangerous territory, right? It is better to avoid temptation than to fight temptation, right? If you've ever dieted, all right, you know that one of the best ways to diet is to remove all the junk from your house. If you only have the food available that is part of your diet plan, you're much less likely to eat junk. So it is always better to remove temptation than to try to avoid temptation. There's another thing going on here, right? And let me just clarify, right, for you guys, right? There's no reason why a woman has to go on a girl's trip. And if she does go on a girl's trip, which again, it's just bad things happen. Hey, look, let me tell you, okay? I spent a lot of time, right, doing what I wasn't supposed to do, obviously. Okay, I've talked about this story before. I'm not going to go into all the details again, but I was picking up girls. I was teaching guys how to pick up girls, all right? I was in Vegas. I was in many places, and I saw plenty of girls' trips, okay? And I talked to plenty of girls that had boyfriends, had things going on or whatever. And believe me, when girls get together on a girls' trip, they're drinking, they're flirting, they're out there. They might not even intend anything, but stuff happens, okay? So I can tell you from personal experience that you got to watch it, all right? Now, you might think, oh, well, my girl would never do that. You don't know for sure. You really don't know for sure, all right? Do you want to find out by this method? Not a good plan. Not a good plan to test the waters. It's just not a good plan. People who test the waters are not very smart. Not very smart, okay? Now, the thing to understand about this also is that there is, well, first of all, like I said, she could go and she could hang out with friends. She could go to the beach. She could go to a brunch. I mean, maybe not the beach is the best, but a brunch. She could go hiking. She could go to dinner. She could go do all kinds of things and hang out with her friends, go watch a movie or something, whatever it is, right? Play board games, all kinds of things that they could do. They could go to classes together. They don't need to go out and drink, right? Now, in general, I'll just tell you, all right, and I know a lot of you guys aren't going to like this. You really, drinking is just a waste anyway, but especially if you are in a relationship. You have no business going out there to nightclubs, bars, any places where it's party scene, where single people are hanging out, trying to get laid. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, when you were single, you went to those places, right? And what were you hoping for, right? So why would you allow a girl that's in a relationship with you to do those things? It doesn't make sense. Then there's a matter of respect, right? Now, appearances are important. Just because someone isn't doing something wrong, appearing to do something wrong or potentially is also bad. It is disrespectful to your partner, right? So, for example, if you have a girlfriend and she goes out to a nightclub and she's wearing some skimpy outfit and whatever, and maybe she's not even flirting with any guys or whatever it is, but she's out with a bunch of friends who are, and then one of your friends is there who's single and he sees her there, it's going to look bad on you. It's going to look like, hey, your girlfriend's out here. Where are you? Right? It's going to look bad on you. It's a disrespectful thing. It makes the other person look bad. You shouldn't be doing things that make the other person look bad. And so in this case, going out on a girl's trip to a party location, give me a break. Come on. We know what happens in many of those places. Like whether something happens or not, it just looks bad. And that's a problem. So yeah, absolutely not. What you need to do is, and here's the thing about it, I would say, is that, like, if you're with a person, first of all, you need to have some communication. You're the man, you're the leader of the relationship. You should be leading the relationship. So you need to talk about some of these things and set some ground rules for the relationship and why you don't like these things. And you can tell her, I don't like these things. All right. And then second, if she still wants to do these things, that's a problem. It's a problem already, I would say, that she wants to go on a girl's trip to a party location. All right. That's a problem. All right. It's not a huge problem at this point. If she does do it, that is a huge problem. But the fact that she wants to, it is a problem. Why doesn't she want to go on a trip with you? If she's got a trip she's going on, why wouldn't she want to go on a trip with you? Why would she want to go with the girls? And I get it. I get the whole, want to hang out with my friends type of thing, but you should be her friend. You should be her best friend, right? It doesn't mean that she can't have other friends and female friends. But what I'm saying is that it indicates a problem that she would want to do something like this. So the best way to handle this is initially, when you get into a committed relationship, is that you have the 6 rules of relationship that you go over with her. You have the captain of the ship talk. You go to 6 rules of relationship. If you haven't seen those videos, you can watch those videos on the archive channel. All right. And you have that talk. And one of the key things in that rule of the relationship, or the rules, is that there's no girls night out. There's no guys night out. Right. No going out to nightclubs and bars and all this stuff. That doesn't happen. Right. But aside from that, okay. And if you haven't had that talk at this point, what you can say is, I don't like that. These should be the most powerful words that you have to use as a man when you're dealing with a woman that is in a relationship with you, is I don't like that, or even before she's in a relationship with you, okay? And so she proposes the idea of going on a girls trip, and you say, I don't really like that. I don't like the idea of this. All right. You could even say that makes me uncomfortable. Right. Now, if someone doesn't care that something makes you uncomfortable, that's a problem as well. Now, if she wants to go and do this, you're going to have to make some decisions. Right. Now, I would probably have a talk and explain this and say, look, this is just not, it's not appropriate. I didn't get into a relationship in order to act like a single person. And this is the kind of behavior that I would not do. I'm not going to go on a guy's trip and go to Mexico or something like that. You probably would feel uncomfortable about that. And I would expect the same from the person that I'm dating. I don't want to play around here. Right. And so again, you could have that talk, you could explain it, you could talk about why this is important to you in a relationship and some of the other rules. And again, if she doesn't comply or agree to that, this is not a person who I would trust. Right. So yeah, I'm amazed by how many people do this and don't realize how bad this is. This is not good at all. It's asking for trouble, and a lot of people think it's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. And you might say, well, I don't care. I like, it's not a big deal. I trust her. I don't want to have my relationship that way. I want to be able to go and do my own things. You really shouldn't be in a committed relationship if that's the case. There's no need. You can just be in a relationship. You can just date people. You don't have to be in a committed relationship if that's the case. If you're in a committed relationship, you should be with the idea that you're moving towards marriage, or you're moving towards permanent, living conditions, whatever you want to say. But you should be moving in that direction. Because if you're not moving in that direction, what are you doing? Why are you in a committed relationship? It doesn't make sense. You're just gonna cause yourself problems down the road. Because, and think about this again, right? I mean, it might seem a little extreme what I'm saying, but I want you to really think about this. Okay. What happens? Let's say you date a girl for 4 years, you're in a committed relationship. She's your girlfriend for 4 years. I mean, are you staying with her forever? If that's not your plan, then what happens when you break up with her? Your life's going to be a mess. Her life is going to be a mess. There's going to be a lot of complications that are going to occur from that. So if you're planning on something being temporary, just date. You don't have to be in a committed relationship. But if you're in a committed relationship, you should plan on being permanent. And if that's the case, then you need to put these rules into place. You need to be smart about these things. You need to have the habits and behaviors of people who totally respect each other, so that you can build a true intimate relationship that is based on trust. And the more, the whole trust issue, I think, gets just misunderstood. You don't say, I don't care what my partner does because I trust them. You trust them because of what they do, of what the choices that they make, right? And so it'd be very hard for me to trust someone who wants to go on a girls' trip to a party location with their friends. It would be very hard for me, because what am I trusting? I'm not trusting the judgment, because that's bad judgment already. So what am I trusting? I'm trusting that someone's going to make bad judgment calls and then not cheat on me? Is that all that I even care about? What about just flirting and doing stuff that would be inappropriate, that no one's going to see and no one's going to know? it doesn't sit well with me. It's not what I want as a man. And if you want that as a man, that's fine. But you really have to examine deeply, guys. And you have to decide, what is it that you want as a man? And that's what you accept, is what you want. Now, if you want to join a group of strong men who are figuring things out in life and developing themselves, and get access to over 200 lessons I've created on fitness, mindset, relationships, dating, women, finances, building business, all that kind of stuff, as well as the community here where you can ask any kind of questions, and group coaching calls that we have every single month that you can jump on. Click the link down below. Check out the Bulldog Mindset membership. Would love to have you join us in our merry crew. And if you want to know about the rules to relationships, check out the video. You can find it on either this channel or the archive channel. I'll see you next time.